Obviously, I was marred by the passing of my younger brother, who was only 21.
Yeah.
And it's been tough. It still is, but I found sort of ways through it, and I got in touch with Lifeline, and then obviously did that video that went that did pretty well.
Yeah.
And from that video, I thought I was just going to release that and stop, but from that video, I got thousands of people who.
What was the video for people?
Oh, sorry, about sort of the story of what had happened with my younger brother's suicide.
Yeah.
And then how it affected me afterwards, and sort of where I've come through. And I've said this story a million times now, but I feel like each time I gain like at least one person who might relate, you know, and because it's still so prevalent in society what's going on.
Yeah.
And it still breaks my heart, and I wish my little brother had someone who saw that and you know, altered what happened. But all I can do now is sort of I'm not telling people what to do. Like I go and do talks at everywhere, like from construction groups to law firms to teams to schools and stuff. And it's not to be like, do this, do that. It's more just, if I just share my story, maybe one person will resonate who might be feeling. That's what's been happening. And I've met like thousands of people and it's just crazy. Like you get people like judges, doctors, but then you get like teachers, everyone who, it doesn't really discriminate, you know, like it could be any walk of life. A lot of ex-police officers and stuff like that. And
where are you doing these talks at? Like
at the place, like
at Lifeline,
and I know at the workplace.
Oh, the workplace, yeah.
And at the moment, it's kind of just been really word of mouth, and people who'd sort of seen the story, and I always just say yes, because I'm like, look, even though it's difficult to talk about, maybe one person there could sort of see signs and sort of put it on top of heads, like, oh, maybe I should check on my mate or friend. Or
so what are some of the things you talk about at those talks?
Really,
I might reach a few people on this as well.
Yeah,
you know?
Well, I don't go straight down the camera with it, but really, I'm just sort of saying, I speak of how, if in hindsight you look back on some of the things Bass was going through, because a lot of time we come from 16, 17, 18, and you kind of get that feeling of, oh, wait, what am I now? I'm about to enter the real world. And you can get lost in that space and have struggle with your identity and who you are. And that's what Bass was doing. He was pretty harsh.
How old was Bass?
21.
21,
yeah. So we lost him at the point we thought he was going really well. He started a new job, everything. So it was a real shock only 2 days after my engagement party like that. And he was super happy, and we had an amazing time and night. Then I get the phone call and he's no longer with us, which is just, you know, it's something that I live with every day. But I find it easier not knowing or speaking to someone else who's going through the same thing. And I've made a lot of new friends out of doing that. But yeah, the main message is sort of just to bring it to light that although people may look like they're going all right, that it's really easy to just assume. And I don't know anyone, you know, like everyone else is the main character in the stories, and all of us are NPCs, you know? And so I don't know how those struggles are affecting different people, and I just kind of want to help their family and friends maybe identify in case, because it's a split second thing, and they can, you can either not be here or you can have a really difficult life.
So what are some of the things they say to, like...
Really just like, Lifeline have like a whole list, if you check it out on the website, and they're awesome. Lifeline, that's the best part about it. They've kind of really been there for me as well. So to represent them is really, really good. But it's kind of just noticing the signs is the worst of the big one. Change your habit routine. If someone's really tired, cancelling things, stuff like that. But the main one is just, if you see someone a bit off and down, it's just going up and saying, hey, you're right, want to go grab a coffee? And even if they say no, go away, I find when you come, because I've seen it, you come out of those moods, and then a week later you're like, oh, I wasn't going too well last week. I remember so-and-so, checked if I was okay, and like stuff like that. So it's more just, and obviously being around footy, you know the stigma, like us as blokes, mate, like I'm 6'7", 120, and played like the rucks and the power forwards in basketball. There's sort of just like that expectation, and you can still be tough and angry and aggressive when you need to be, but like doesn't mean that you're above what's going on
100%.
upstairs. So it just really shits me when there's that whole mentality of like being weak-minded and stuff.
Yeah.
Because that just immediately makes people not want to, will internalize it and make something bigger in their head. And so,